So in this article, they found a connection between, in their research, they found a connection between aggression among siblings. It usually reflects based on jealousy and non-realistic conflict. And they define non-realistic conflict as things that are emotional, nothing that's physical, mostly verbal aggression. And then they also had a connection between realistic conflict, which suggests that there are things that are more tangible. Like if a sibling has more of items, like if they have more nice clothes or they have better electronics, they'll usually have more conflict amongst the siblings, since usually it ends up being the younger sibling that doesn't have as much as the older one, and they end up getting very aggressive and upset towards their older siblings since they don't have as nice of things. They did see that in their research there was no connection between the marital status of the parents the the social situation amongst like the family household had any connection towards the sibling rivalry. The sibling rivalry was mostly the effects of the parents' emotional towards their siblings. So if the parent had more favoritism towards the older sibling, the younger sibling would get more aggressive towards that sibling, or vice versa. If you were the younger sibling and you were getting more attention, then the older sibling gets more aggressive towards the younger sibling, usually because the older sibling had a period in time when they were an only child or lived like an only child. So when they had the competition with the new sibling, they ended up getting very aggressive towards it, so that the parent, in hopes of the parents' attention and approval. The method in which they conducted their information is they used questionnaires, and they gave the questionnaires to 309 college students in three large sociology classes. And although they did limit it to one college, one state university, they did see that because in their research there was no connection between the parents' education level or marital status or social or economic effects on the sibling rivalry. It was okay for them to have such a limited survey of the siblings. The results showed that the aggression, they wanted to find a connection between the aggression of the siblings to if there was a connection between sex and age, and there was no connection. They found that the sex they found had no connection. It didn't really matter as much, because even when there was when it was a female sibling, when it was a sibling aggression, it didn't make a difference whether it was a boy or girl, because there would still be aggression. Obviously, when it was male, there was more physical fights, but when it was female, there were more verbal fights, which sometimes they said that the abuse, not the abuse, but the effects of rivalry, whether it was physical or verbal, would still have just as much of effect on the sibling. And they found that siblings have more aggression towards each other when they're in junior high school. And the younger siblings usually had more aggression towards the older siblings, but there was no high significance between the connection. And they found that the siblings were much more likely to be involved in aggression or rivalry between the siblings if they were closer in age. So if the age gap was closer, then it meant that they were more likely to be more aggressive towards each other.